Here's alumnus, co-founder and CEO of Life360, Chris Halls.
Thank you. I'm Chris Halls, co-founder and CEO of the company here. Some of you might know about us. We're a family networking app, but not really in the social sense that most people think. Our goal is to win the family network in the same way that Facebook won the social network, LinkedIn won the professional network, but with a very different focus. So our goal is to give peace of mind and safety to families around the world. So we've had over 50 million families use our product now with a core use case of making sure people are where they're supposed to be. Pull out your phone, see everybody is, get alerts when your wife leaves the office, you know how far away from home she is, get help in an emergency. And you might wonder, well, why are we hosting an IoT panel? Our big vision is creating a hub around families instead of hardware, so a bit of a different approach to the space where we believe if we can get hundreds of millions or at some point over 1 billion families using our product, trusting us for peace of mind, being part of their daily routine, we have a very natural conduit to tie in a lot of the products that the people in the audience are making. So one example, ADT, the security company, we have a few guys from ADT here today. They like us because when you buy an ADT system, you're not just protecting your home, you're protecting the people and the things inside it that you care about. Why isn't that anytime and anywhere? And mobile and IoT is a great way of doing that. So those are the types of use cases that we're trying to enable. And we hope that we can eventually be a hub for many products like you, including people on the panel. We'll have Tile, find your keys. We have Jason from August, lock your doors automatically when people are out of the house. So we believe the family can be a hub for that. So I won't spend too much time talking about IoT, though. I'm leaving that to the panel. But I am a Cal alumnus, as was mentioned. I thought I'd talk a little bit about our experience starting a company out of Cal, because we started in Berkeley's incubator when it wasn't quite as glamorous. It was in the basement of the Bancroft Hotel, literally, and it was like, I think it was like 2 or 3 o'clock when they'd cooked the donuts for the night. You'd smell it, and that was like the alarm clock. So it was pretty scrappy, but even though it was scrappy, it was pretty impressive who came out of there. So the people that were in this tiny basement, it was probably half the size of this common area here. Next door was World of Good, or next cubicle over, then Indiegogo, then Tube Mogul, all in a tiny little basement. So one IPO, one company valued, I think, many, many hundreds of millions. Another company sold to eBay and us also with a high valuation that we hope to turn into real cash one day. So with those humble beginnings, it actually was, some very good success coming out of that really scrappy area. So, but I also am not necessarily happy with Berkeley's ability to really help their graduates get into tech. I felt that it gears you up much more to consulting or finance. I got a job at Goldman as a summer analyst, and I was in a finance track out of Berkeley. There really wasn't much to help you get started in entrepreneurship. I did get into the incubator, but it was a slog. I had to beg and kick and scream, like, why does an undergrad want help? It was very MBA focused, and I didn't really know who to talk to. So there wasn't anything there that really made it easy for me. I had to fight for it, and I think that's changed over the last few years. The new incubator is great. The fact that there's consolidation between the business school and the engineering schools is also great, and I think that has to happen more. It's a little bit selfish of me that this event's in San Francisco, and I say that is handy, but Berkeley is still a world away for whatever reason, even though I can get to Cal faster than I can get to the Sunset with the new traffic in the city. But having more that is core to everyone, that's accessible to people in the broader Valley ecosystem, I think can help Berkeley win. And I will share one anecdote about my experience going through Cal that actually did work very well for Life360. So we entered the business plan competition in 2008. It was more or less a completely useless exercise, and I wish I did not spend so many hours doing financial models that were what I now realize just digging holes in the sand with false precision that meant nothing. My mentor was my boss from Goldman, who patted me on the back. They're like, wow, you even included depreciation for your desks. Someone should have slapped me. But what did work from that was I met a judge from the competition, this guy Mark Jacobson from OATV. He invited me to this thing O'Reilly did called Foo Camp, and they had a little group of startups, and so I got invited there. I was brand new, didn't know anything about entrepreneurship. They had a dinner for founders and CEOs. I sat down just in an open seat, and I introduced myself to the guy next to me, and he said, oh, I'm Evan Williams. I said, I'm Chris Halls. I said, what do you do? I had this company called Twitter. It's kind of small. I had no clue what the hell that was. And then another guy sat down next to Evan and said, Evan, meet my buddy Dave, is Dave McClure. He might be starting a fund soon. And then Dave thought I was like really good friends with Evan. And then he invested in the company, and that's our first angel investor. So that was like a 5-domino chain from Berkeley. So I don't know if we would have got the seed round without that, because it literally was Evan Williams introducing me to Dave McClure before he had a fund that worked. But it shouldn't have to be that serendipitous for these connections to happen. I think with a bit of thought and organization across the different colleges of the school, it really can be a great place for entrepreneurs. And if you do look at the numbers, yeah, Stanford is a little ahead, we have to admit it, but Berkeley is a very close number too, and has the potential for a whole lot more. So that's our experience at Cal, and with that, I'd like to introduce our panelists.